everybody, and welcome back once again to another indoor adventure in our Fallout arc. We are currently in Fallout Part 3. I don't know if you guys had seen it before the break, but we have some awesome new break screen art from Danae Keener. You can find her at DanaeKeener.com or back on the show after a week of absence. So welcome back, Wings. Yeah, we finally got our paladin back because boy howdy did the gang get into some trouble last week. But before we even get into that, guys, did you know we hit over 250 followers on the Twitch channel? So as thanks, what I wanted to do is host a giveaway, which is already live. So if you are checking out the show, you can actually go to our Gleam.io milestone 250 follower giveaway. I'm going to be posting it on Twitter as well. So what you guys can potentially win from this is a custom spellbook from Elderwood Academy. They do some amazing dice trays as well as Hold'em containers for dice. We are getting a custom spellbook created. So if you would like to be the future owner of Caelum spellbook, you can totally go out and enter into this contest and possibly win yourself one of those. It'll have room for spell cards, characters of miniature size, as well as dice, and it includes a dry erase board, which I think is really cool. And then the other prize that people could possibly win is the Mythica Sinister Emerald dice set from Die Hard Dice, and I use Die Hard Dice every week because we got dice at PAX and they were really cool. But I'm very excited to be able to give this giveaway to all of you guys. So it's going to last for 2 weeks until May 6th, and then once that is done, we will announce the winners on this show, and I will get those prizes sent out to you when they come in, because apparently the spellbook comes, it takes about a month to make because it's all handcrafted materials, but once it comes in, I will send it your way. As again, I'm very excited about that. Also, including stuff that we have to either give away or possibly present you guys with. Guys, did you know? This is probably one of my favorite parts of the show ever, which is shilling. Did you know that you can possibly get a really cool mug, or maybe a shirt like LB is wearing that has the dragon tattoo on the back? And guess what? I have finally given myself one as well, so now I can proudly show off the Tiamat logo. It looks so nice. I honestly love wearing this shirt, and I've gotten compliments from people thinking that it's a metal band. It could be if you play your cards right. So, you have your metal band Tiamat t-shirts. Watch out, death saves, we're coming for you in terms of marketability. And guys, did you know we finally have our Moon Maidens high-res poster now in the merch store as well. So if you are interested in getting a movie poster-sized printout of the high-res quality Moon Maidens picture, you can totally check that out there as well. I tried putting the spring break screen on there earlier today, and it did not work because apparently Streamlabs doesn't like 1920 by 1080 as an actual, printable size for things. Who'd have thought? Who knows? Maybe we'll contact them and see about possibly getting that changed. They're not going to do it, but who knows? So with that in mind, you can also find us at our audio plays, which if you go to, if you use the audio command word in our Twitch chat, you can end up getting a link right to our Podbean account, which is super cool. So with that in mind, guys, who are we playing tonight?
Hey everybody, I am RJ, and I'll be playing Caelum, the Shadowkai Cleric.
I'm LBHackEmUp, and I will be playing Gwen, the Halfling Barbarian.
I'm Cyber, and I play Arjan, the Dragonborn Blood Hunter. That's what he is, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm Wings, also known as Danae Keener. I'm going to be playing Coriander, the Elegant Paladin.
Yes, and I am the Indoor Adventurer, and tonight I shall be your Dungeon Master. So, last time we left off, You guys had made your way to the beachhead to the home of Agatha, a sea hag, who still had Cybra in her home, having taken her in as collateral in exchange for the use of her boat, a troll that had been polymorphed into a boat. However, the only problem with this half-polymorphed boat was that it was still technically a living creature as far as a paralyzing gaze was concerned, and you all ended up bringing Agatha back a boat that had turned into a dead coral. Seeing as how Agatha was not going to be giving you your dog back, Cori ended up challenging her to a naming game of Fey origin, and upon accepting the terms, the two of them went into Agatha's shack, where Cori said that this game could take upwards of several hours to several days. It really depended on the length of which the two were willing to play, and has been doing that for the entirety of last session. However, you guys decided that you were going to go and talk to Arasthk, the ancient bronze dragon who rules over this isle, and upon talking with him, Gwen, you hit on a dragon, and we learned that Dragonborn can sweat, as Blake very much did not want to admit it, but he did release Tarlean back out into the world and admitted that he indeed had support for this ancient black dragon within the Warring Kingdoms, and worse comes to worse, they would kind of come to a more drastic impasse. After then separating, you all found yourself at the Greyboar Tavern, where Gwen, you started schmoozing it up with our dear rogue friend Tifa, while Arjan, you decided that you were going to investigate more into the potion that you had been given by your privateer friend. Upon meeting you up in your room, you and Caelum were able to actually come to terms, or come to a understanding as to what this potion was, and it ended up being a potion of vitality, a very rare, very powerful potion that the Hordes person inside you just absolutely loved in terms of monetary value. Caelum then asked, oh, we're getting all sorts of animal cams. This is what you miss out, audio cast. We have aminals. But as you guys, Arjan, you and Caelum ended up going down to a beachhead far away from where Agatha's hut was. And Caelum used a ability that he had never practiced before, and casted a spell of a level higher than he was otherwise capable to, but as a result had to roll along a sorceress explosion table, we'll say, and as a result found himself looking 9 years younger. So I don't know where Caelum is right now, so Gwen, you are currently in a very, very, very heavy sleep after having a night of hard drinks with Tifa that you don't exactly remember how it ended, but you know that you were at least going to bed alone that evening, and as you fall into your slumber, you kind of feel the world conform around you once more. And even though in this dream you feel your legs are kind of shaky and your body's wobbly, like you've been drunk before, but being dream drunk is rather an interesting predicament. And sitting on a log across a fire from you, just roasting some meat on a spit, is none other than your dear spirit guardian, Eulalian Grayskull. And he just sort of waves at you as you show up.
I am dream drunk?
Yeah.
Okay, so Gwen is going to, saunter up. Hey, buddy, what's up?
Oh, how's it going, Runts? And he comes in.
Dude, I feel great.
Comes in, gives you a big hug. And he offers you some food. And as you eat it, you feel yourself getting more sobering up as you kind of continue to enjoy his company. And he says, "So, the other day you were fighting with your friends. How was it?"
I fought with my friends.
No, not like against them, but you know, with the thing that we talked about, fighting together with your friends.
Oh my god, you didn't see it?
I
We
mean-
fought on a ship, okay?
Yeah.
And it was going fucking great. I was taking hits left and right, and of course, like, you know, just absorbing it in my rage. And then Cori got knocked over, and then Caelum went to go get her.
All right, that
Off
sounds
the
cool.
boat? Yeah. So I was fighting, and Blake, who's now Arjan, I mean, he's still Blake, but like he wants to be called Arjan.
Tall one.
Yeah.
All right.
the dragon. Mm-hmm. He and I were fighting, and I was still kicking ass, and then he got knocked over, so it was just me on top of the boat, which was fucking cool. Please don't bite me. And
I wasn't planning on it.
it's all right. And then there was a fucking minotaur, and the minotaur rammed me off the boat
Oh, what
into
a
the water.
dick.
I know. I can't swim. I know I'm yelling. I'm sorry. And so I can't swim, and I am in the water, and Cori is knocked down, and then she gets back up because Caelum kissed her, and it was fucking cool.
Oh,
And-
what? I've been waiting for that one to happen for a while.
I know, right? Really want this to happen. Really want it to happen. And then Arjan was fighting with sharks, and he got. I'm sorry, guys. My cat thinks I want to fight her because I'm yelling. And so he gets knocked out because he was fighting sharks, and then yeah. I mean, he got fucking looked like he got killed.
Oh, what?
And then, yeah, I know. And then his body got like transformed into the big ass dragon thing, like an actual dragon.
Well, that just seems like cheating.
I know, right? So then he flies out of the water, and then we don't see him. And I'm sinking because I can't swim.
Yeah,
I'm
the can't
just,
drown, the can't swim thing.
Right. I don't go down though, I'm fucking tough. So then
Obviously.
I get picked out of the water by this dragon duder, get set on the deck, everyone's fucking dead. They're like torn to shreds.
Oh, fuck.
And then Arjan, who was really his daddy, like his dragon daddy inside of him, like came out, and that's why he was the big old dragon dude.
All right. Not sure I follow, but the picture's
Right.
there.
I know, magic shit. But so then he was like, "No, I don't want to go back. I'm out, and I'm going to be out forever." And then I was like, I had to put on my man pants, and I was like, "No, you're going back in." And he's like, "I'm not." And I'm like, "Yes, you are." And then he did, and his like the necklace glowed and shit. And then he went back, and he was Arjan again, and he was naked. And
Nice.
then he passed out. And then there was this chick that got off the other boat because the boat was sinking because we exploded it. And then I don't think I banged her. I might have.
No.
No? Oh,
Nope.
it's okay. I'm sorry.
Your cat's mad you didn't.
No, I'm sorry. Okay, it's okay. Yeah, so that was pretty much it. And then and then I was here. But oh yeah, so we had to get back our dog, which we traded to the hag.
It's not
for
a dog, it's a wolf. Be
Well,
respectful to the creature.
Sorry. I'm used to her being like my size, and then she like grew up in a night. It was weird. Yeah. So, anyways, Cori is doing some sort of magic Feywild fighty thing with her, and then we went home, and I went to bed, and that's it. And now I'm here. Why am I here? Did I summon you?
I mean, it kind of felt like you did. A little bit.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I
Oh,
mean, maybe
well-
it was just like the drunk you being like, oh, I miss Grayskull, and sometimes he likes feeling important. Maybe. So.
I mean, I do always miss you, but I kind of feel like you're like with me all the time. Which, by the way, I'm not against the creeperness, but I'm glad that I know it now.
Oh, No, you grew up in Goliath society. That's just how we are.
Yeah.
Let's appreciate
totally.
from afar, and then,
Yeah.
don't get involved without asking.
Exactly.
Now, here's something I did want to talk to you about.
Oh, okay.
It's your legs.
Oh my god. What's wrong with my legs?
Oh, you can't run very far. How am
I
how are we supposed to protect people when you can't run very far? What if they're farther away from you?
Caelum can.
Well, that's true. He's very slow. A little clumsy, but that's neither here nor there.
Uh-huh. What, you want to, like, do running training or something?
No. No, so, one of the reasons, I think, why you came in here while you were drunk, is because, sometimes when you drink a lot, and then you start seeing double.
Mm-hmm.
All right. And he stands up and picks up his axe, which is identical to yours, albeit slightly larger. And he stomps the butt of the staff into the sand, and you see what looks like a target dummy emerge maybe 30 feet away. And then another target dummy emerges 30 feet away. And he says, all right, now what if them's over there were your friends? And he stomps his axe again, and you can see a caricature of Caelum and a caricature of Blake.
Those are good.
Or of Arjan. And he says, all right, now imagine, and he stomps his axe twice, and then you see what look to be Goliaths that have really, like, derpy faces on them. What if they was attacking your friends? But you were over here, what would you do?
Oh, I don't know, man. Maybe I'd throw an axe at him.
I mean, there's that.
I'd run over there.
But it's like this, see? You know how when you drink, sometimes you see double?
Yeah.
All right. We'll practice this. And he stomps his axe and just says, all right, I want you to picture me over there when your friend is getting hit.
Okay, 1 second. She takes, like, a big bite of bread. All right, sorry, I just got to sober up a little bit. Okay. Imagine you're over there. And she thinks really hard.
Okay. So with your Goliath, or with your Spirit Guardian School of the Barbarian, or Path, is that what they're called? I always think everything's just schools, but barbarians barbarians used to not be able to read, so schools not applicable for them. But yeah, so with that ability, as you focus, you watch as Grayskull's form just sort of shimmers for a bit next to this figure as it tries to strike out against one of your friends, and he just combats it back.
Holy shit. Did I do that? Was that me?
And you feel a hand kind of get placed on your shoulder, and it's Grayskull. He just, we're gonna wreck some shit, little one.
Are we doing magic right now? Is this
It's kind of like magic. Imagine, but imagine if your magic was amplified by your friendship.
Friendship is magic?
In this situation, yes.
This is the best day ever. Did I get laid?
He just shakes his head. No, not this time.
All right, still best day ever. There's still time.
And at that, he has you practice with him the rest of the evening. So let us return to the beach as Arjan. You have just watched as Caelum de-aged 9 years in front of you.
Caelum?
Yeah.
Oh god.
I would also like to mention that Caelum is the second fastest party member. Excuse you.
Thank you very much. Oh. How are you feeling after that?
Pretty good, actually. Did you get taller?
No, I don't think so. But you got shorter.
What? He holds up a hand to his face and, like, wiggles it.
And as you do, the armor that was normally a little bit tighter around your arms just kind of slinks down. It looks like you are wearing a shirt that is a size too big.
It's a
Where's
sleep
your
shirt.
did you bring your shield?
Yeah.
That's gonna like take the shield and point it at you.
Yeah, and Caelum, you see staring before you is a 14-year-old version of yourself.
Oh, crap.
So we're not gonna do that anymore.
Mm. Okay. But, like,
I'll hand the shield back.
he, like, the way the shield, like, drops in his arms. Okay. Arjan, can you, like, hold this? It's actually really heavy.
Picks it back up. Just. Oh, God.
You know, like most magic, this is probably temporary, so I'll shoot right back up, right?
I hope so.
Oh, man.
Let's head back.
Okay.
All right. And you guys begin heading back to the Grey Boar Tavern. And as you guys are maybe about 2 minutes away from the front doors that you know so well, you see a very beleaguered Coriander walking forward towards the bar. She looks like she is just very tired after her ordeal on the beach, and you see padding next to her is the very happy doggo Wolf of Cybra.
Caelum steps behind Arjan.
Cori.
Oh, hello.
Hi. Good, you got Cyber back.
I did. She's gonna pat Cybra. Got the doggo.
Did you get the payment?
The what?
The payment for the job that we did.
Cybra, did we get... Oh. Okay. Well, I'll be right back. She's gonna turn around. Take Cybra. I'll be right back, okay?
No, are you feeling okay?
Oh, I'm just a little tired. It took a little bit out of me. I'm fine.
Okay, so this is probably still the best time to drop this on you. Step to the side.
Can I make a sense motive check to keep in step with
Insight check, yeah, sure.
Insight check.
Or a dexterity save.
Oh, that okay. It's a great thing this is a negative.
This is a completely unrelated time to bring up the fact that I'm pretty sure Cori never got that Blake is now Arjan talk.
Nope.
That's a natural 20.
Snap. So yeah,
Nice.
Caelum, like a true shadow, just sidles behind Arjan as he steps.
Yeah, so I'm really sorry about this. Like, not even like recognizing that you were still behind me.
Okay, well, I'll be right back. I'm gonna go and get the... What were we supposed to get again?
I don't know. She had like 3 magic items and everything. Look, we can go with you.
Oh, we were supposed to choose, like, from the magic item. It's fine. You guys can just stay here. I'll be right back.
No, I feel like we might need to walk and talk about this.
I don't know what you...
Caelum.
Kind of peeks
shove him.
around Arjan's leg, and then he's like gets pushed out. Hi, Cori.
Hi, Gwen.
Yes, Gwen. Rage.
Okay, anyway, I'm gonna go get that thing that I was supposed to get. Cori just kind of waves and then does an about face and starts walking away.
Caelum, go with her.
But
Caelum.
okay.
All right, so
And I'll go after Caelum.
okay. Yeah, so Cori, make a perception check. Caelum and Arjan, if you are planning on following behind stealthily, you can make stealth checks. Otherwise, you're just kind of following behind.
I'm following.
All right,
Hey.
so Cori, you even in your extremely tired state, you're still able to register.
I messed it up.
Yeah, you did, but you were still able to register that these two chuckleheads are following after you, even when you said
I'm Coriander now. Everything's fine. I'm not mad at all.
So they're sneaking after me?
No, we were following her.
They're not trying to hide it.
No, they're just blatantly following you.
Okay. Coriander will stop and then turn around and just be like, no, seriously, it's fine. I can just do it myself.
And Cybra just kind of looks up at you, Arjan, and just
What sort of insight am I getting?
But besides, you guys should probably take Cybra back with you. We don't want to rub it in that we got Cybra back and everything.
And that's good.
I will
24.
totally take Cyber back.
You're getting the sense that Cybra is very hungry.
Yes, I will go take Cybra.
Arjan, no.
Caelum, when do you expect to tell her? When do you expect this to not be a problem?
Okay.
Let's be upfront with this.
Fine.
Cori's just standing in the background, nodding off like,
Cora, we have some things to talk about.
What's up?
I'm not Gwen.
She's gonna walk up and like crouch down and just kind of squint at you. And she's gonna like put a hand up over Caelum's head where he should be, like in height, and then like bring it down to where his head is. Okay, what happened?
So I wanted to try out something new, and we were on the beach, and I did it, and then suddenly I'm like this now.
I see. And do you have any idea how you're going to fix it, or?
Over time?
God damn it.
Okay. I'm sorry.
I feel like at this stage of Sleepy, this would be getting to Cori as well. Possibly.
Yeah. No. Like Cori's trying to be angry, but like it's like the joke caught her funny. Oh my gods, we cannot catch a break. Is there anything else I should know?
Yeah, we're exiled. We've got about a week left. We've got about a week left on the island.
Why are we exiled?
Because I told the truth about Tarlean.
Ah!
Wait, why are you upset? That's what you would have wanted?
She's gonna go walk behind a tree, just like, ah! Okay. So, while we're all sharing good news, I didn't beat the hag. I beat her up.
Oh.
Oh. Did you kill her?
No. So let's go get those things that she owes us, so that I can be mad at anyone but you right now.
Perfect. Because we are not leaving another job unfinished. Wait, fuck. Arasthk actually likes her. Does Arasthk actually like her, or am I remembering that wrong?
She's a citizen of the Isle, so it's
Fuck,
more.
we can't murder her. All right, let's go get the item.
Cori's all but pulling her hair out right now. She's gonna start walking away, mumbling under her breath. She's got like these dark circles under her eyes. She's had a long day, man. She has 2 points of exhaustion. This is not her day.
Oh.
Oh.
She's a very sleepy coriander.
She's a sleepy coriander.
You guys can make medicine checks if you would like.
21.
12.
Caelum, you know that Cori's looking mighty tired, but Arjan, you're able to kind of put 2 and 2 together, and she looks like she's been up for maybe 2 days in the span of time that you've seen her.
Fade time shenanigans. Whoa. Oh, I just got an idea. Out of character.
Okay, so yeah,
So we're going to Agathis.
all right.
Yes,
So
we're going
yeah,
to Agathis
it
tonight.
is the middle of the night. At this point, are getting at least closer to it. You guys have gone up and down these large switchbacks several times at this point, but you finally do make it to Agatha's shack, and you don't see any lights on inside.
So, just
When I left her, was she still in her shack?
She was.
if I notice Agatha, I would like to cast Hex on her and give her disadvantage on Wisdom checks.
Okay.
Maybe
Sounds
we
good.
should come back in the morning.
We're taking care of this now.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah. As you guys approach the house, make a perception check.
Oh, good.
Jesus Christ.
Okay.
Natural 20.
Alrighty. Cori is very sleepy. And Arjan, you aren't really looking out for this sort of thing, but as you guys get nearer to this hut, you see that there is a little bit of what looks to almost be like a bluish-green seafoam light coming from inside of the hut. But Caelum, you scanning around the beachhead, you actually see a female figure doing what appears to be bathing in the salt water beach that is currently washing up on the shore. Just illuminated by the moonlight.
I'll just point it out. Is it like Agatha figured or?
It's Agatha figured, and this is definitely not the like stretching up looking glorious. This is like scooping water into a cup and like splashing it on herself. And you can make out that she is just swearing and muttering underneath her breath.
Cori's gonna poke her head into Agatha's hut.
Okay. And looking around, Cori, the air is still thick with this kind of heavy set incense that seems to just kind of be filling the room. And Caelum and Arjan, you guys notice that this incense is a very thick purplish color. It looks almost difficult to see through. And you see that there are these lights, these candles that are lit up towards the back end of the of this shack that are set onto a table, and each one is giving off this kind of deeper bluish green color, almost like a cyan. And as you guys are kind of peering around, it looks like there was a scuffle here. It definitely looks like there was a little bit of swordplay. You can see that one of the tables is broken in a corner. You can see that there are a few blood splatters that are on the ground, and you aren't necessarily sure whose is whose. And as the three of you look around, you hear coming from behind you, "Get out of my fucking house!"
Before turning around, Cori's just going to like lift a middle finger and then follow it. Just like, you forgot to give us our magic item.
You cheated at the game.
The game is still going.
I don't want to play with you anymore.
Well, that's too bad, because that's not up to you, that's up to your mother.
What?
If you want Mother to decide the rules, then we can call her. We can get her figured out. But last you left, you didn't want anything to do with that, did you? You said that you were just going to act. Well, she looks at Arjan and Caelum. She hit me with her sword. You're lucky I shouldn't press legal charges. We were playing a game, and then you got cross.
I mean, go ahead. We're already exiled.
Get the fuck out of my house.
Give us the payment that you offered.
What do you want? What payment? Do you remember any of the things I offered you?
Sure, there were some really cool crossbow bolts.
If that's what you want, that's what you can have. And she goes into her house. She comes back and just tosses 3 bolts down into the sand in front of you. There. Are you happy? Come into an old woman's home, beat her senseless, cheat.
After she asked us to murder her sister, sure.
Get out. Get off my beach. You'll find the ocean is quite unkind to you.
As Arjan like reaches down to pick up the crossbow bolts, there is electricity just like coming off of them. But he picks them up.
Okay. And she, with a slams the door. And you see that the sand starts to actually kind of shuffle next to where you guys are as you watch as these large crab legs actually extend out from underneath the house and lift it up. And you watch as this large crab just scuttles away with this shack on top of it down the beachhead.
I thought that went really well.
Cori's got double birds at the crab legs going all the way into the ocean.
Are we the baddies in this situation?
Yes. That's why we're exiled.
Oh. Okay.
I am actually going to sleep.
All right.
All right.
So we're going to go back to Grey Boar.
Alrighty. So yeah, you guys get back to the Grey Boar Tavern, and what was your room situation like? I believe that you guys had each rented a room, or were you sharing rooms?
I believe Caelum and Gwen were sharing a room, and Arjan had a room to himself.
Because Cori always insists on sleeping downstairs.
It's true. Is it like what, mid evening right now?
At this point, it is getting to be around 1 a.m. by the time that you guys actually find your way back.
Cori's gonna find out where Gwen's room is, and then she's going to like spread a blanket on the floor, and then she's just going to lie down like a corpse and then close her eyes and just be like, I'm sleeping right now.
Sure.
She opens up one eye and she's like, did it work?
Do you want the truth, or do you want me to make you feel better?
I warn you. I add my charisma modifier to my saves now.
What?
My God, she's speaking gibberish.
Okay, you know what? I think a nice trance, 2 trances in a row. If I know how this works properly. Because it's a full rest and a full rest in 4 hours.
Yeah, that's actually probably a better idea. Cori will sit up and trance.
Okay. So yeah, you begin going into your trance, and Cybra hops up onto the bed and gets cozy up next to Gwen. And then that just leaves Arjan and Caelum once more as the only two. Yep.
First off, I'm gonna feed Cybra.
She's been V hungry this whole time.
She did not feed our dog. That had deserved what came to her.
No, she deserves to die, but I mean, we can't do that legally.
Legally.
Gotta trick her into the sewer, see?
And then I'm just going to sleep. And I'm just gonna Dragon's drafts. What the hell was that other word?
Drafts?
Dragon's
Drafts.
Drafts.
Dref?
We'll spell it out.
Dreft? Like the laundry.
Draughts.
Draught.
Drafts.
It's pronounced drafts.
Drop?
Oh, drafts. Like
A stroke.
Like look at this giraffe. Anyway,
we're not gonna get into this argument here.
like draft beer.
Sure.
Close enough. So yeah.
English is weird, everybody.
English is very weird. I'm falling asleep again.
Yep.
That was just my realization.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I can either try and research what's going on, or I could talk to Brother Groon and see if he knows. I'm going to sleep.
Okay. Yeah, so when you go to sleep, you end up finding yourself once more in you're in a chamber with Brother Groon, and he just kind of leans up and
It's back so soon.
Yeah, I ran into a problem, if you can't tell.
he just shakes his head.
No.
Like, I'm tiny-er.
And he kind of like leans down and gets his head really close to you, and looks you up and down.
Are you sure?
I look down. Am I?
Yeah, you're still same size, young kid size.
Yeah, I used to be a little bit taller and my voice wasn't as high.
What happened? Did a horse kick you in a place between your nethers?
No, that would cause shrinkage, but not that kind of shrinkage.
Did a tree fall on you? They can
No,
be very dangerous.
I tried a thing with, like, I read in the book where I can cast a spell stronger than I should be able to, and I guess there was a backlash or a feedback or something.
And he just, at that point, just...
I see. These are ancient spells, much older than the magic we know now can currently handle. To cast them in such a way as to allow unadulterated weave into your personage. In essence, it is like you said, magical backlash. To cast something so powerful when you are not ready.
Great. So is this temporary or?
Do you need to be taller?
I would like to be.
And I would like an infinite jar of cookies. But alas, I am still working on it. We all want things that we cannot fix in our current way, young Caelum.
Great. Let's hope puberty's kinder to me this time.
And he just kind of nods and says,
Are there any other questions you have?
Pulls out a book. He pulls out like his book and then starts flipping through it. Okay, so about this word here, and he'll like do a refresher lesson with Brother Groon.
okay. And as you bring up the refresher lesson with Brother Groon, make a Arcana check.
18.
Okay. So while you are currently flipping through and interacting with Brother Groon as well, you actually stumble upon a word that you have only ever heard before, but you've never seen written, and you actually find Havar written in one of these texts. And as you kind of trace around and look at its sources and find out what happened to this word, you find out that this is in essence, one of the etymological roots of evocation magic.
Huh. Huh. Okay.
Something the matter, young one?
It's a long story, but in essence, I've heard this word before.
He just kind of tilts his head.
Where? Are there others that still speak the old tongue?
Well, I don't know. It was in a memory.
He just kind of tilts his head again.
One of yours?
One of my friends. It's a long story.
And he, you see, just kind of shakes his arms a little bit, and just clouds of dust start coming off of them. And he says,
Time is something I am well used to.
I will regale him with the story of what happened when I went a layer deeper in Arjan's mind.
okay. And that'll be pretty much the entirety of your dreaming, is just sort of teaching, communicating with him, getting to learn this language more. And now that you've gotten a grasp of it, kind of seeking out how things have changed, what happens to things as you read them in the book in terms of language. So now that you've learned this word, it's just one of the schools of magic, but just a very, very old name for it. And then, Cori, after your first 4 hours of trance, as you go to try and enter into a meditative trance a second time, your mind is tired, but your body is just well rested, and you don't seem to be able to immediately go into another long rest after having taken the first one.
All right, she's gonna try it for a little bit longer, and then eventually get antsy, and then jump up and like start pacing.
Okay.
Is Gwen asleep in here?
Gwen has been asleep in here for a while. Gwen, make a perception check. This will be at I would say it would be at disadvantage, but Cori, I'm sure, is making a lot of noise.
it's not inaccurate.
Perception is it's a 9.
Okay. Yeah, so Cori, regardless of how much noise you're making, Gwen does not seem to be waking up.
All right.
Just
Well, she makes some
sawing
noise, writing a note to tell her friends where she went, and then she's gonna go into town and see if she can find a flower vendor.
Okay. Make an investigation check as you look around.
Oh, I'm good at those. Note the sarcasm. There's a thing that I say about rolling intelligence-based checks with coriander. It's a 2. And it's stay dumb, Cori.
Okay. So as you continue to look around, you are actually going to be spending most of your morning looking around for a flower shop. The closest thing that you seem to be able to find is Calder's Concoctions, the alchemist in town, and it's on his signage. It says that he's not going to be open at least for another few hours.
She's gonna give a side eye to some like flowers in a flower bed, and then think better of it because no, he's gonna be mad if I do that. Ooh, speaking of that guy, what are the chances that I could get an audience with the dragon?
I would say that would involve a charisma check. That would involve a persuasion check to the guards outside of Arasthk's large botanical palace.
I'm better at those. But I just realized that I have 1 level of exhaustion, which means that we should be looking at what that does. Doesn't that give you disadvantage on ability checks?
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Cool. Awesome. I'm gonna try and talk myself into there.
Okay.
Alrighty. This is a persuasion check.
Yes.
Dirty 20.
Okay. So yeah, as you approach, there are just these two kind of tired-looking kobold soldiers that have their bronze helms, and you explain that you are Coriander of the Four Keeps Adventuring Party, and when you present yourself as a member of the Four Keeps, one of them raises his hand and actually does remember the name. It seems like he is still working a very late shift from yesterday. He's pulling a double, but he ends up sending word off, and he says that if Arasthk in all of his glory is willing to meet with you, then so be it. And after about 20 minutes of waiting very tiredly outside of this large botanical palace, eventually you see that a small group of kobolds, there's about 4 of them, and they end up coming and escorting you into the palace proper. And they end up taking you inside of what looks to be do you speak Draconic? What languages do you speak?
No. I have Common, Elvish, and Sylvan. I'm the elfiest elf, remember?
That's true. So you see that written above on a signage heading into a chamber. It says Lareth. And you are taken into this room, and Lareth is written on this large gold plate. And upon entering into this dome inside of the palace, what you see are a plethora of elm trees, white birch trees, and much thinner aspen trees that as wind that seems to just kind of be a constant inside of this area hits, the leaves themselves just look like they're kind of shaking in place. And if anybody is ever interested in seeing that plant, you can find it at looking for a quaking aspen. They're an incredibly beautiful tree. And as you are escorted in, you see that Arasthk is in... he's wearing his standard kind of darker colored robes. Is in the humanoid form that you have seen him and that you saw him in previously. And he's just sitting at a table, and there seems to be a large red tome that is placed onto this table that he's sitting at. And make a history check.
I told you about these. Ooh. 5.
Okay. Yeah. You don't remember anything else particularly, but as you walk up, Arasthk just sets what appears to be a pressed flower inside of the book's open space and folds it closed, and he stands up and comes over to you. He doesn't extend his hand out, but he says,
"Well, it's good to see you, I suppose. Did your friends
she'll
tell
dip
you?
her.
Did your friends
Sorry, she'll
tell
dip her
you
head.
about your situation?"
She'll dip her head respectfully and say, "I'm not aware of the full situation, Lord Arasthk, but I'd like to hear it from the source myself. I have to say, I don't appreciate being exiled in my absence."
I do not appreciate my oldest enemy coming back from the grave. I do not
I
appreciate
can't say I...
that enemy facing me, looking me in the eye, and telling me that he is going to regain a foothold in the warring kingdoms.
I can't say I appreciate that either, sir.
I presented this to all of your friends as well. Do you plan on supporting Tarlean?
Sir, I plan on ending Tarlean.
and at that he kind of tilts his head a little bit, and you see him bring his arms up in front of him and puts them across his chest. Just,
how do you mean?
He's a tyrant. He hurts those beneath him and aspires to hurt those above him. He has made my friend suffer more than he has ever deserved. And if there is evil in the world, then it is my duty to smite it.
Your friend, who has suffered, is it the small one? Is it
I'm
the
sure
other
many
elf?
things are small in comparison to you, sir.
The small blonde one. Was she harmed by this tyrant?
I don't remember. Was she hurt?
no.
What of the other elf? Was
No.
he harmed because of this creature?
No.
Your friend that you claim was harmed is the one who is actively trying to bring about this tyrant's regime.
I cannot believe that.
He looked
He
at
has a
me.
good heart.
That might be the case, but good intentions can create bad consequences, as I'm sure you are very well aware of. He looked at me into the eyes and said that he was going to bring back Tarlean, to stop this dark star and to stop this winter. But to what ends? So I ask you, do you support your friend if he is to bring back this tyrant?
Not to that end.
What is your plan? What is your goals? From what I've heard, you wish to be the, and he makes air quotes, elfiest elf to ever elf. These are your words. What does that mean to you?
Have you ever heard of the story of Coralon?
I have.
Well, sir, he was the elfiest elf to ever elf, and I'm following in his footsteps. Coralon has stopped the coming winter once before, and his power would be enough to end Tarlean. And my time here on the natural plane is intended to become like him.
And you must ask yourself, would Coralon have supported a tyrant?
No.
And why do you, if you are to be him?
I don't.
Your name is Coriander, correct?
That's right.
You plan on bringing about the end of winter, on becoming this next elven hero. Without the tyrant's backing, he was still able to defeat winter. Correct? This is what you have said?
Yes.
Then do you believe that without the tyrant's help, you would be strong enough to defeat this winter?
With the power of Coralon? Of course.
I have a mild request. Would you act for me? Would you be my eyes in areas that I cannot see?
What do I have in return? I must warn you, you're trying to make a deal with a fae.
And he just smiles and says,
I've made plenty of deals with fae in the past. Some I am lesser proud of than others, but I am a man of my word. If you bring about the end of this tyrant, and you can keep your friends safe. They seem like nice enough people. I have nothing against them, but their motives are flawed. If you carry something for me, then I would be able to check in and make sure that he's not able to come back in the way that he has previously. You'd be able to come and go as you please on this isle. You would effectively be an emissary. However, it would require that if there was no other way, you might have to put a sword through your friend.
Coriander will dip her head. The duties of a Caelum can be very hard.
and he just kind of nods towards you and says,
Then rise, emissary.
and as your eyes look back up, you see standing before you in his entire might this large bronze dragon, no longer in a humanoid form, but instead looking at you in all of his draconic glory. And his voice, still soft, still coming from the area that you had become more comfortable with, says,
I'll leave you with this.
And he reaches in front of you and turns his hand upward, and you see that there is what looks to be a very polished stone. Almost like a... it's almost opaline, in just this kind of clear, smoky white. It's not exactly like a pearl, where it has that very stark, no longer able to see through. And he says...
keep this on your person. If you are in dire need, destroy the stone. I will set things right.
Coriander will accept the stone and tuck it away where no one will find it.
Okay.
Right down her bra.
And he says,
Is there anything else that you would need from me? I cannot let your friends come and go as they please. But
I can understand this.
But without them, you are free to come and go.
I was wondering, there's a lot of strong natural magics here.
he nods.
Is it possible that you would be willing to set up a gateway into the Feywild?
And he squints his eyes and says,
Coriander. Gates, as fond of them as the elven folk are, have led to disastrous events.
and he lowers his large dragon head down and is then face to face with you, and says,
We've discussed this before. Have you ever seen it? In any of your memories, in any of your shared dreaming?
Sorry, you're very quiet. I couldn't hear
That's
you.
okay.
he asks,
Have you seen it in any of your shared memories or dreamings? Have you ever seen the events that took place that day?
What day are you talking about exactly?
The day of the Sundering. The day that the day that your people pulled a continent for themselves throughout the realms. They pulled lands, created a valley of tranquility for themselves.
Has she seen this? I feel like the no.
You have not.
Yeah, I feel like the answer is no.
Yeah.
She will shake her head almost childishly.
And he says,
I was far away in the southern kingdoms when it happened, but I have had the ability to view. I've had the ability to see these things. It came from one of your people.
and he actually will then ask for you to follow him. And as he does, his form reverts back into a humanoid. And the two of you go out from this gold room into a bronze room once more. The same room that you had initially met him in. And he goes over behind the statue of the two bronze dragons that are inside of this inside of the structure, and he places a hand on the back, and you hear him mutter words under his breath. And as he does, you see that there is actually a doorway that opens up on the base of this statue, and as it lifts, you see that there is a set of staircase going down. and he asks for you to follow him.
I do.
And he takes you into a underchamber inside of this botanical palace, and you see that there is a large table that has been set up with 6 different seats that look. It doesn't look dusty. It looks like there are people who not regularly sit here, but have sat here rather frequently. And he goes over to a large wooden shelf, and he reaches up and he grabs something from it. And when he comes over to you, he actually hands this thing to you, and you see before you is about a baseball-sized gem, and it looks as you see it. Make an insight check with advantage.
So just cancel out the disadvantage?
Yes.
Insight. I'm actually supposed to be good at that. Oh, never mind. 14.
Okay. You recognize the style of creation that this gem is a part of. This is this looks similar to the kind of crystalline memories that both you and Caelum create.
Ooh.
And he hands it over to you. And as he does, and you look inside, you can see that there is a moment that is still within inside of this gem. And you see what looks to be a tall humanoid, or a tall elven woman wearing these very dark, very black robes that look like they almost have a feather pattern to them, with her hands outstretched in front of a large altar with several other elven forms that are all around her as well in this large circle. They all have their hands raised up and they seem to be chanting, and above them it looks like a tear has happened. In that it is just this large circle that looks almost like it is like a poorly photoshopped piece of material that shows, instead of a very clouded, very dark sky, what looks to be a green rolling hill through it. And it is just this still image that you can see.
Brander will quirk an eye at him and be like, the Raven Queen?
And he looks at you and just says,
She was not always this way. This Raven Queen that you know her. This was before the Sundering. She was immortal. An elven sorceress who claimed that she knew the way that the weave worked, and that she would bring about the tranquility the elven people desired.
Good intentions.
Dire consequences.
She'll offer the memory back to him.
And he takes it and then sets it back up onto the shelf and says,
The man who gave this to me called it a Telkira.
Would you mind spelling that for me?
Yes, that is TEL-KIIRA. Or dash, not a hyphen. Sorry. And he continues speaking to you and just says,
I think of this day, and I think of the days that followed. At least once during every one of my wakings. The sky cracked open, and out of it came people. Offset, our world, different than their own. They didn't know how to react to the changes that took place. Screams in languages not even we dragons could understand. All because the elves wanted a better home than what they already had. This was the end of our kind. To fix the elven mistake. Without that mutual destruction, the war between myself and Tarlean would have expanded, would have continued on. Thankfully, his death came years before this event. But had it not, if he were to come back and gain the strength that he once had, the war would extend far north from the kingdoms and take place here. If Tarlean comes back, will you end him? Will you use these powers of being the elfiest elf to ever elf and strike him down?
Coriander will draw her sword and hold it with the blade down. In the name of Coralon and Elistray, in the name of the Autumn Isles, I will do this.
And he nods towards you and says,
Arise. There's no need for bowing here. You've already accepted yourself as my emissary.
Well, you did ask, and she'll put the sword back.
and he has a little bit of a chuckle at that, and begins escorting you out of this back area, and then out towards the front of the palace, and says, if there's anything else, all you need to do is ask. You'll know where to find me.
She'll dip her head and say, I know that there is a bit of tension between the elves and the dragons, but I hope that one day we can find a way to get past that.
I do as well. You seem nice.
And she will... Oh, thank you, you do too. She will bow briefly and then turn around,
Okay.
walk out.
Sounds good. So yeah, you make your way back, and it is around this time, Gwen, you are waking up first thing in the morning. Cybra is on your bed, and as you stir, she starts giving you face licks. And you...
Yeah.
Caelum, stop. Oh.
God, why did you think that was Caelum?
Good morning, Cybra. Where's Cori? Oh, I missed you, and I just
start smoozing. And
take me downstairs, and I flop over her.
yeah, and she just begins taking you downstairs without any real issue. And as you pass by the boys' room, or no, because Caelum, you fell asleep in the same room, correct? As Gwen, yeah. So Gwen, you would have seen asleep Caelum, and in the next room, you would have heard the gentle snores of Arjan as he continues about his sleepy time as well. But you end up making it downstairs without any real issue. And looking around, there's not very many people in the bar. You can see that if anything, Farron is currently paying for last night's drinks. And he kind of waves at you as he begins to exit out of the building. But looking around, it's pretty much just you, Greybeard, Cybra, Frankie the cat, who exists in the bar, as we have established. And as you kind of sit and get ready for your customary Eggy McEggwitch, I would like for you to make a history check. And this will be at disadvantage.
Because I was a junkie girl. Okay. -1. Ooh, I rolled a 4 and a 5. So,
Okay.
3.
Yep. The more you think about it, you remember going upstairs to your room with Tifa. And then that's where it starts getting really fuzzy. As far as Grayskull let you know, you guys didn't bang. But as to the end result of what happened during your time together, you are just having the foggiest. But it seems like it turned out okay.
Yeah, maybe we drank too much. Right, Cybra? Wait, where's Cori?
And at that, Cybra will kind of look towards the door of the building and then back at you.
Breakfast first.
Cybra will nod and then just start, if you give her any food, she will start snarfing it down as well.
Oh, for sure. I order an egg witch for her.
Okay, and Cybra will begin just licking the scraps off the plate and just being a rather clean dog about it. But as you are enjoying your breakfast and Cori is getting done talking with Arasthk and our two goth boys are getting a good night's rest, we are going to be going into our first break. So I would like to say, first and foremost, thank you to everybody who has stayed with us so far. Thank you to all of you great players for coming back week after week. I love this. And also thank you to all of the new people who joined us, because you make this giveaway possible. Because, I mean, hey, I want to give away some good stuff, so check it out. With that in mind, we are going to be going to our brand new spring break screen. So if you guys have not seen it yet, prepare for a goddamn delight, and we will see you guys soon. All right, everybody. Bye-bye! Hello, everybody.
Oh, shit. So, sorry, DM question.
Yeah, sure.
If you can turn kinetic energy into thermal energy, how fast and hard do you have to punch a chicken to deep fry it?
Make me an intelligence check.
No, this is for you.
Oh. I don't fucking know. That's a 3. Otherwise, I would have cheated and used Google, but
I don't think you could physically like punch something hard.
you can't tell me what I can and can't do. I'm a god here.
I think you could do it, but you'd have to slather it in oil first.
So much oil.
True.
Just like Hakan from Street Fighter. Anyways, hey guys, if you like weird content like that, consider supporting us on Patreon, because that's exactly what our after show is like.
Might be able to hear me rapping to Anaconda. Who knows?
Oh, you gotta check out the Patreon in order to see some Anaconda punch Wait, what? I read punch chicken. I read that as children. Don't punch children.
All right. How fast would you have to punch a child in order to
get
Okay, so
This is a lot of what goes on in the after show. Everyone gets off topic and Becca goes, can you just like...
We could find out. Cori can go into summer form and then just find Caelum and let's do this.
Okay, so Cori, you have just gotten done speaking with Arasthk. Were you planning on heading back to the Greyboard Tavern, or were you planning on doing anything else first?
Is it noon yet?
It's a little bit before noon. At this point, it's maybe 9 in the afternoon. Or, sorry, in the morning.
In the morning?
Yeah. There's a Panic at the Disco song somewhere out there.
9 in the afternoon.
Yes.
That makes no sense. There's no way for it to be 9.
Okay,
Panic at the
so...
Disco. You're so crazy.
All right, come on.
Nine
All right,
a.m.
sorry.
9 a.m.
9 a.m. She'll go kill time at the Greyboard Tavern.
Okay. Yeah, and when you show up in the
Gwen
morning...
yet.
when you show up in the morning, you see that Gwen is currently eating some Eggy McEggwitches with Cybra.
Morning.
Oh, good morning.
I see you got the wolf back. Thank you for that.
Righto.
Mm-hmm.
Coriander will go sit down next to Gwen, and like she's got that kind of manic energy. She's still got like the dark circles under her eyes from staying up for so long. But now she's just like, yeah, ready to go.
How was your
tomorrow
night?
till I sleep. Oh, I tried sleeping last night and it didn't work out.
Can you do that?
I don't know. Hasn't happened as of yet. Except for that one time when I was unconscious on the moon. I nearly died that day. She stares off into the distance.
Gwen stares at her plate. Yeah, cool.
But I don't think that really counts. It wasn't very restful.
No, maybe we should get you really drunk one time and maybe then you'll pass out.
Interesting theory.
Yeah. So, what's on the docket for today? Oh, wait. Oh my gosh, there's so much that you haven't been filled in on. Hold on. Shoot. Okay. So, we got back to town, and then we went and we talked to the dragon, which turns out doesn't look like a dragon. He's more like a person, and I hit on him, and it was like really awkward because I didn't know what was going on. And then Gwen's gonna tell the whole story in the Gwen details, even the stuff that Cori knows because she doesn't know.
Yeah, Cori nods along to the whole story, and she's like, "No, yeah, that sounds like you." Yeah.
And then I almost banged Tifa, but I don't know. I think we just got too drunk.
Okay. You weren't using moon wax again, were you?
No.
Okay. Speaking of which, how you doing?
I mean, I appreciate it, but after this egg witch, I mean, this thing's kind of fucking magic. Like, not magic. Oh, I did magic.
Oh?
I was with Grayskull in my dream, and I was able to magic him somewhere else. It was really cool.
Oh, that is very cool. Could you do that in real life?
I think so.
Oh, wow. Maybe we should practice that.
Sweet. We just have to wait till the boys get up. Caelum was sleeping in my room.
He does that from time to time.
Yeah. He looked like a little tuckered out little guy.
Oh, do you know what happened to Caelum?
No, was he drinking too?
No, and I don't think he will be for a while. She looks off into the distance again.
Okay. Details?
He's dealing with some magic shit, and now he's 14.
Years old?
Mm-hmm.
How do we feel about this, Cori?
Personally, not super great. I'm hoping we can solve this pretty quickly. Because morally, I don't know how I feel about taking a small child on adventures and putting him in danger.
Is his brain 14?
Who's to say? Was his brain 14 before?
I don't think so. I actually don't know how old he was before. Of age, I know that. Let's be honest. Let's be. But
to be fair, I don't know either. It's kind of hard to tell with elves.
Yeah. How did he become 14?
Magic nonsense. You know, the usual.
Like on accident, right?
Oh, most things Caelum does is on accident.
Was he doing something he wasn't supposed to be doing?
I don't know the details for sure. I was very tired at the time when they told me.
Okay. Did you punish him for it?
I'm in the process of doing so now.
You want me to handle it? Because I can handle it.
What do you have in mind?
I was just going to hit him with my shoe.
Listen, you can do whatever you like, but if he doesn't have this figured out, then I'm considering leaving him on the island.
Well, we can't do that. I mean, he's like our kid now.
Would you take your kid on dangerous adventures? Actually, don't answer that question.
Yes.
I told you not to answer that.
All right, well, let's wait for them to get up, and we'll see how I feel when Caelum strolls down the stairs.
Yeah, and it is
Okay,
about that
well.
time that the two of you, Caelum and Arjan, are both waking up in the morning.
Caelum's walking down. You see the sleeves on his like robes are folded all the way up, and that he's barefoot, and his pant legs are also folded all the way up because they're just floppy either way.
Gwen like looks at him and she's like, "Oh my god, Caelum,
Yeah.
what did you do?"
That's my bad. Sorry,
That's
Indoor.
okay.
I did some magic bullshit.
On purpose?
No, actually, well, the thing worked. This is an accident.
Were you going beyond your means?
Maybe.
All right. Gwen gets off her chair, undoes her shoe, and she's gonna start chasing him around and like smacking him with her shoe.
Oh no, not the chancla.
You don't mess with magic you don't know about.
Just raising his hand.
Got the mental image of this. This poor noodle boy in oversized clothes.
Sorry.
So how's it going? How's
Not
everyone
like-
feeling? Arjan, please.
Sorry. Habits.
Oh, it's Ashan now.
Oh yeah. That was in the story. I probably glossed over a little bit of it, but I
Oh,
thought Cori-
sorry. I glossed over a little bit too.
Blake, you're not, or Arjan, you're not taller, right?
No, I don't
Okay.
think so.
Oh, and she holds up her hand and like hovers it in front of his crotch. It's like, I mean, her hand would come up to like
His,
no, she's 3 feet tall.
We do have a size chart now.
We do.
You have a size chart.
yeah, so you could like, yeah, you'd be able to reach up to like his
Abdomen.
Mid-
lower pectorals.
Okay, she's gonna touch his belly button. No, I think you're all right. How tall is Caelum now?
I wrote it down. He went from 5'9", 5'10" to a whopping
Got somewhere.
5'3".
Oh, so
Small
like
boy,
not that
small.
much for her. So she's more at your belly button now.
Mhm.
All right, I can. You know what this means, right?
No?
I can reach your face now.
Oh.
Do we know
Don't
how we're gonna fix this?
Nope.
I've already made the joke last night, so I'm not going to make the joke again.
So, does anybody want to see the really cool house that we have now that we only get to see for like the next week or so?
And we can buy me some clothes that actually fit.
It's probably a good idea.
Yes to both.
Alrighty.
Shopping.
Kinda. I mean, it's more
Toast
visiting
is
your
not
own
that way.
home. So yeah, as you guys head out, you follow the directions that were given to you by the kobold courier that you met last session. And he makes, and you guys make your way all the way to what looks to be a single wide. It's almost like a townhouse. And it has 1 or 2 windows on it. You can see that there is a pole for sticking out above the door for in case you did have a sign that you eventually wanted to get commissioned and put there. And as you open up this door, you can see that there is in almost like a U-shaped pattern around the walls. There is counter space and then a little area to actually step behind this. You can see that there is a back door that leads to what looks to be a little bit of a storage space, maybe a small workshop, depending on how you would like to use it. And then there are stairs that lead upstairs. And going up and checking those out, you can see that there are 4 bedrooms that are kind of stationed there, or what look to be 4 moderately sized rooms. When asked if you guys wanted any fixings for your shop, that was when you had brought up there's an evil dragon inside me trying to get out thing. So you were not able to get any furnishings for your home.
That's right.
But it looks very quaint. It's maybe 25 feet wide, not even 30 feet wide, and extends to the back for about 40 feet. So it's a moderately sized shop. It's just very empty.
Cool.
Looks quaint.
It's very dusty.
Well, I mean, what are we gonna do with this? Why do we have this?
Well, the original plan was that, I don't know, maybe we could hire somebody to sell potions out of this, but...
I was meaning to talk to you about that. I was wondering if we could set up some sort of business arrangement with my parents. And when I say my parents, I mean my mother.
I mean, if she's okay with it, yeah. I mean, look,
we need to figure out the whole communication thing. It's a little iffy. Right now, my plan is to tie a note to Oakenheel and see if it makes it there.
The last note that was given to Oakenheel, he ate.
That's true. But if I ask him really nicely, he might do it.
Yeah.
That's why I want to send a note first before sending any money, because I'm not certain whether or not he actually eats gold, which is a thing that the Fae sometimes do.
And I really don't want to find that out either. Okay. I mean, my whole plan was that, like, I would buy some equipment and at least start making some stock, see if anybody wanted to buy it, maybe people from Off Constantly or anything else.
All right. We should probably try and get some trusted employees here. Coriander's going to look at her empty wrist and then up at the sky. And she's like, sun in the middle of the sky means noon, yes?
About, yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry, timekeeping is a little off for me. Around noontime, I'm going to go pick up some flowers and see Oliviette. She might be interested in this venture as well. So would you like me to tell her?
Sure, yeah.
Cool.
I didn't really have a plan going into this, and even less of one after.
Well, evidently we can't come back, so we're going to have to come up with one.
All right. Last time we talked to your parents, it was through a face circle. Would we be able to find another one on the island?
No, absolutely not. Talain isn't privy to those. I think if he found one, he'd destroy it immediately.
Well, yeah, Talain doesn't like face stuff.
You mean Arasthk?
Oh, sorry. God, dragon names are so hard to keep straight.
Mm-hmm. Especially when you have a whole 2 of them.
I'm counting 3 now. I'm counting you as a dragon, Mr. Sir.
Good.
Arasthk.
Do we need to take out any walls?
I don't think so.
Gwen just looks really bored. Like, she doesn't care about any of this. She claimed a room when we walked in, and that was pretty much it.
Gwen gets the top bunk.
Yep. She claimed the biggest room as a show of dominance.
Yeah, there's no bunks or furnishings inside of these rooms. It is just a large space.
We'd also probably try to see if we can kit ourselves out, considering we're not going to be able to come back. Sorry, I'm a little salty.
Yeah.
Are you sweaty?
What?
You said you're salty. Are you sweaty?
Must be a
Okay.
Feywild expression.
They don't sweat, they
They simmer.
shine,
We glisten.
glisten.
Gross.
Well, this old gal does.
Except for the sweat trolls.
So what are we doing now?
Apparently trying to come up with a plan to talk to Cori's mom.
All right, well, why don't you guys do that, and Caelum and I will try and figure out his whole, like, puberty problem.
That sounds like a plan.
I'm gonna summon Oak and heal.
Okay. Are you casting this spell inside?
Yeah, of course.
Okay.
Why wouldn't I?
So as you cast this spell, you hear the sound of a bell downstairs, signifying that somebody has come through the door. And as you look downstairs, you see this large fey creature just standing in the middle of your shop, looking very nonplussed around him.
Cori will hug his neck and give him munchies of some sort.
What kind of doorknob do we have? Is it like the press down or the turn?
You look and it's a turn.
Oh no!
It's that gif from Adventure Time where the deer takes off his wheels.
Oh!
He's got cloven hooves. He could probably like
That's not how that works.
Ninja Turtle that shit. Just-
Yeah. So yeah, he is currently standing in the center of your shop downstairs. Gwen, Caelum, you guys are going out to investigate a cure for Caelum's magical affliction.
Mm-hmm.
All right, where are the two of you going? As I'm sure that you were kind of just leaving Cori and Blake in this shop or Cori and Arjan in the shop to figure out what the plan is for said business.
Going to Gwen would say, let's go to things that make you say wow.
No.
Why?
I hate it.
Why? They might have something for this.
Fine.
Hold my hand when we cross the street.
But I'm...
Oakenheel just said a very funny joke, and Cori's finding it hilarious.
Oh, Oakenheel, you really know.
Yeah, so we're gonna go to things that make you say wow.
Okay, make a survival check as you make your way to things.
Survival. That's a 7.
That's a 21.
Okay, yeah, so Caelum, you regrettably remember seeing things that make you say wow along a central drag strip of other shops and mercantile areas. And as you make your way there, you see a very similar looking red tent that has been set up kind of smushed in between these two other shops. And you see kind of in a hanging sign above it that seems to just be magically floating, almost in neon letters that say things that make you say, and the wow is just on a constant flash. And on the third flash, it'll actually loop around with what looks to be a explosion behind it, and then just continue back to its standard flashing. And as the two of you enter into this red curtain, you are met with a very familiar staircase leading you down. And looking around, you see what looks to be a very spacious room. There are red velvet curtains that are placed all along the sides that have very large pillars that separate them into smaller segments. You see that there are 2 very large suits of armor that just have their hands placed in front of them, visors facing down. And in front of you looks to be a larger stand on this table, or that is at least a counter in order to do business. And sitting on top of this counter, you see what looks to be a frog wearing a tiny top hat.
What's up, dude?
And this frog just looks at you and just...
Look, we've already been in here before. We know this part.
You see the frog brings one of its little flippers down and looks like it's ruffling around in the side of a pant. And he pulls out what looks to be a cigarette and just pops it into his mouth and lights it. And just takes a very long drag, and you see his cheeks flare up. Cigarette pulls out, just... And as he exhales, you see a large amount of smoke appear in this room, more so than could have ever possibly fit inside of this frog's mouth. And as it does, you hear, as stepping through this smoke is the same shopkeeper that you met over in Shroudport. And he says,
What's up, dude?
Nice to see you, Gwen, right?
Yeah. I'm sorry, I don't remember your name.
That's fine. I don't believe I ever introduced myself. My name is Orillo.
Orillo.
Yes. Well, I'm a merchant with wares, and hopefully you're a customer. So is there anything I can get you? And, son? He points towards Caelum.
Yes, I'm adopted.
Yeah. No, Caelum. Look, we ran into a little bit of trouble. My friend is younger than he was before, and we need to get him back to the age that he was yesterday.
Like speed-wise or time-wise? How old was he yesterday?
How old were you yesterday?
We never celebrated my birthday, so...
Wow, that is super sad. I would say he was about, and she puts her hand up, like 5 inches taller, 7 inches taller.
Are we looking for just a height change? Are we looking for the
No,
whole shebang?
He needs to be like a man.
Oh, we can make him a man. We can
I'm
make
gonna
him
say-
into a manly man. If you got
In
the coin
7
for it.
days, I can make you a man.
Okay, Caelum.
His arms see a little flabby, but I'm sure that we could at least, get some chest hair onto him.
Right, perfect. Wait, did you have Chester? No, he's been like, he's an elf, so like streamline all the way
Semantics. Do you have something to fix this or not?
Well, that depends. What exactly am I fixing here? Is this a curse? Is this some kind of adverse magical effect? Is this,
I think
did you take
adverse.
some of the not as, street level stuff that they have here on Arasthk? Were you doing something else?
Let's put a pin in that one. Go ahead.
I think it's an inverse effect from magic that I did yet last night.
Okay, shouldn't be too big of a problem. Sorcerers come in here all the time. General complaints. I'm a bunch of years younger. I'm a bunch of years younger. My friend's now a potted plant. These things happen to people sometimes. And here are things that make you say, wow, we like to make sure that with enough coin, we could right that mistake. So, you're looking at a 9-year differential. That is going to be... I'd probably put this at close to 600 gold.
I have 130 right now.
Well, if you're interested, we could have a payment plan.
Indoor, no. We play this game for escapism. Come on.
You could work off your debt if you wanted to. How long are you planning on staying here?
We're
Well,
only here for about a week.
we're on the Isle of Arasthk still, right?
Yes.
Okay, cool. Cool laws. So, you could work to pay off your debt.
Hey, you ever met a Goliath before?
Yes,
Do you trade with them?
sometimes. Whenever they show up to Sirt's Hellier.
All right, if you can find them, I can get you an inn with them so you can trade with them whenever you want.
But it's really hard having a permanent establishment when they're moving around all the time. Do you have any of them that are, like, stationary?
Weren't you in Shroudport like a month ago?
Yes and no.
One just like looks at the ground like,
Could we do a combination, like the payment and the differential in payment and working it off?
Well, how much time do you have to dedicate to work?
you got me for the next 4 days.
No, Gwen, you don't have to.
And you would work here. You would work for me? And he puts his hands up. And he just rubs his hands together.
You don't have to, Gwen. This is, my
Gwen
mess.
pulls him down.
Mm.
I usually get fired after 2 days, so this will be fine.
Oh, okay.
I'll give you, Caelum, you give him whatever, and I'll give you 100 gold, and then I'll work off the rest of it.
In 4 days? It's going to be a very grueling 4 days.
What if there's two of us and you just scrap our pay together?
What are you gonna do?
I'll have you know I'm semi-accomplished in the scribing field. I can write really well and do accounting stuff. And, I used to copy books to manufacture into more books
Well,
for like a while.
if you are going to work for me, and you are going to take out this plan, as you said, you have 100 gold, and then you, Caelum, how much gold do you have?
I'll throw in another 100.
Okay, so we're already getting there. That's only 400 gold left. So, with that in mind, only 200 gold per person. I'm sure we could work something out. Just a moment. And you see him do the optical illusion where it looks like he is walking down behind his counter. And he's just kind of looking at you doing it as he does. But you hear his footsteps get gradually farther away. And it actually does seem like he is getting farther. And as you peer over the side of the counter, it's solid ground.
All right, I hate magic, but that was kind of cool. So, like, is this gonna happen often?
Caelum shrugs.
Gwen, like, is this going to happen often?
De-aging or
You
working?
fucking with magic that you shouldn't be fucking with.
Maybe. I have an inquisitive mind.
All right. Kids.
And at that, the two of you hear what sounds like a crying baby. It just seems to kind of be echoing through this chamber. And as you are trying to pay attention to the sound, you see what looks to be this small infantile human just kind of like crawling on the floor towards your group.
Caelum will pick the baby up.
That support the head.
I am.
Endor, what the fuck?
Okay.
You gotta jump up and down a little bit with it.
Okay. So as you guys are kind of bouncing this child, you start getting just this absolutely terrible smell, and you get the feeling that it has soiled its diaper, probably, but you hear it starting to actually fill up. It's this really gross, not as great sound coming from this child, and as you look down, there is just a pile on the ground between the two of you, and this kid just kind of crawls over you onto your shoulder and begins crawling down your back, and as it does, you see that this pile of shit on the ground begins to form into what looks to be a humanoid shape. And with a snap of the fingers standing in front of you is Orello, holding 2 immaculate pieces of paper as well as 2 quills, and he seems to be completely clean. And as you try and like go to tap at the baby that has crawled onto your back, you hear what sounds like a series of crows flying away from where you currently are.
Too close to home. Too close to home.
So as he's forming up out of this shit, Gwen grabs her axe. It's a shit demon! And she's gonna hit it with her axe.
Okay. Yeah, your axe slices right through it, and as it does, it looks like it just reforms right as your axe goes past it, doing no damage.
Oh, jeez, you can't do that, okay? There are things called shit demons, and they are scary.
I know, but I wasn't one of them. I like to make an entrance. Can you really blame a guy?
Yes.
Well, consider me blamed. So, and he walks over to the counter and sets down these two pieces of paper and says, for your services going into the next 4 days, all you need to do is sign this contract and I'll give you the paper, no problem. Or I'll give you the potion, no problem. We'll get you back to your 9 years older. Is that what you said? You were 9 years younger, so we're turning
10.
years. 10.
We went with 10.
10. Okay, 10 years. I'll need the 200 gold up front.
Ching.
Thank you.
And Gwen's gonna actually read it.
Okay. As you read through this paper, it is a consent form to subject yourself to a Gaius spell, where the terms are that you will report first thing tomorrow morning as well as every morning for the next 4 days at 10 a.m. If you do not meet this contract, you will meet this contract.
How long does it say we have to be there for?
It says for the next 4 days that you are to meet in the morning. It does not give you a specific time frame for how long you will work during those days.
Gwen pulls off a pair of glasses that nobody knows she put on.
It was in one of the 1,000 pockets that your character has that you never use.
Yeah, I know. I always forget about that.
You wear glasses?
What? No. Hey, so how long is a work day?
Well, until the job's done. If you work fast, job's done fast.
And what do you intend us to do all day?
Depends. I might need materials. I might need help with some concoctions. I might need just maybe a shoulder to cry on every once in a while. You know, I have feelings. The other Aurelios don't care, but that's fine.
Wait, what?
What? Oh, don't worry about it. So the contract, and he pushes it forward.
But what's a Gaius spell?
Oh, so a Gaius spell is basically a compulsion or suggestion that the caster will give you, and you must follow it.
I'm keeping it pretty light. Just show up here tomorrow morning, 10 a.m. Sound good? Good to everybody?
So, what if we decide to show up earlier? Caelum, signatures.
No, if you decide to show up early, you can just hang out. Always down for a good chat.
Oh, it's that kind of workplace. Okay.
And where is the hard limit of what you're not gonna ask us to do? Gwen's gone over contracts before.
Well, I like to keep things professional, so as attracted to me as I'm sure you all are, I have to put up that barrier. We can't be having that between the two of us, you know, it's understandable. I don't kill kids. I don't have other people kill kids. That'd be weird. There might be a little bit of plane hopping involved. I need some materials. But other than that, you know, it's really standard stuff. You know, pick some flowers, cut off a toe. The little
Whatnot.
things.
That's all right. All right, well, I'll get the tough stuff. You can keep him in the shop to write up shit. Caelum, do you have any questions?
It's a little late now. I signed.
Yeah, he already signed. I'm waiting on your signature.
All right. Is there any void to the contract? If you do anything, will it be void?
No,
Great, cool. This is great.
I'm your
She
employer.
says it.
things don't void on my end. Don't be ridiculous.
Cool. She signs it.
All right. And he takes the 2 papers and goes over to the frog, who is just now about to light his second cigarette. And he's like, "Oh, it's so bad for you. Here." And he kind of like pulls down the jaws of the frog and stuffs in the 2 papers. And then he closes it up and says, "There, now you earned that second one." And he goes back over to the 2 of you, reaches into his robe, and he pulls out a vial. And he says, "This should counteract whatever it is that you have going on with you." We said 10 years?
Mm-hmm.
10 years. So, all you need to do, drink this, get a good night's rest, and you'll be right as rain in the morning.
Solid.
Cool.
You should have Arjan look at it first, just so it's, you know, in case it's poison.
Why would I poison you? I need you to work for me.
But magic sometimes messes up, and she points at Caelum.
Yeah, well,
Oh, no,
not
it only
when it's
messes up
done
in my case.
Not when it's done in safe environments, like my stores.
So should he drink it in here?
I mean, you can. It's yours, you paid for it. I'm not gonna stop you. That'd just be rude.
Is it gonna make him fall asleep?
No.
All right, cool. Go ahead.
And then, you down the potion in front of him, and as you do, he just looks over and says, "So, out of curiosity, what's the biggest thing you've ever killed?"
Me?
Yeah.
Oh boy. I killed this week I killed a cyclops.
Okay, that's pretty big.
No, that wasn't us. Never mind.
Let's see. I've killed. I mean, I helped kill a minotaur. This
Not
week.
that big, but
Right,
close,
right.
close.
I mean, Goliaths. I've killed. We should probably add what's a big animal up there, up in the north?
A big animal up in the north would be just a dire bear kind of thing, just
Yeah.
a really big ass animal.
I've killed dire bears and dire wolves.
Oh, those
and-
are pretty big. Well,
Yeah.
maybe this will be a lucrative business after all. I like
But
this.
did you doubt me?
So, can I help you with anything else in the store?
Nope. We'll see you tomorrow.
10 a.m. sharp.
Yep. Do you need to do the thing?
No, I don't need
Sign
to.
the contract.
Yeah, you signed the
Oh.
contract.
Okay, cool. Have a hoppin' good day. She shakes her head as she walks out.
Thanks.
All right, and as the 2 of you leave, he goes over to his frog and just says, "A hoppin' good day. Have you heard that one before?" And the frog just shakes its head no, and he's like, "I hadn't either. That's actually really good." And that is your 2's interaction with things that make you say wow. So, Cori, Oakenheel, and Arjan, what are you guys doing at the potion shop?
So you're just gonna dismiss him and send him back to the Fae. That fact.
Yes, it's his natural place, so I don't imagine he'd go anywhere else. Would you, Oakenheel?
Kind of gives you a gentle shrug.
Okay.
No roaming the plains.
Rolls its eyes.
Okay.
What should I tell my parents?
I mean, if they know any good alchemists that would want to stay on the material plane rent free.
She'll write this out. Send an alchemist. Blah blah blah.
I mean,
Try to find a way for us to communicate more reliably.
Yeah, but besides that, if any alchemist wants to stay on a tropical island in a pretty okay house and just make and sell potions.
That does sound like a lovely life, now doesn't it? She'll embellish. She'll say how nice it is. Bring furniture.
Yeah, they actually today I'm gonna go. I want to go out and actually get like alchemical equipment so they'd at least have something to start with.
That's not a bad idea.
But I feel like that's enough to at least start. If they could like start looking.
I mean, we've got a week yet on the island. You can probably get things started on your own.
That's what I want to do today. Yeah, it's based off of this book that we got from Caldric. It was Caldric, right?
Calder.
Yep. Okay. That I got from Calder. It's going to take me about a day to make a healing potion. And I was thinking, like in the meantime, maybe I can like make some acid vials or something like that.
Okay, that's not a bad idea. I might pick up some nicer armor while in town, but I don't know if I can afford it.
Like, how big are we talking?
Some splint mail, which would be doing the math in her head.
Oh, I'll be up front. I'm going to be spending about 300 gold pieces.
All right.
Out of the party fund, so we'll have about 430 left.
Oh, well, splint is only 200. And one better than that is plate, which is going to be a little bit out of our budget, I think.
All right. Well, if the shop does all right. Not that we're going to be able to come back and anything.
All right. And I'll also ask my father if he would be interested in enchanting anything for us. She'll write that down and finish it all off with a bunch of flourishes and hugs and kisses and stuff. And then she'll roll it up into a little scroll and then tie it onto one of Oakenheel's horns, where it's visible, but still like clearly out of reach of his mouth.
And as you go to put it up, he definitely tries to like peer his head up to get at the letter as it comes in.
She's going to anticipate that and stuff a piece of fruit in his mouth.
He likes the fruit. Just starts nomming.
Yep. Now, if you come back with a note from my parents, then you can have an entire bushel of fruit.
And you see its eyes just get very large and a slow head turn towards you. Eye blinks.
Yeah. She'll rub his face. That's right.
Just starts like counting on the ground, just using its cloven hooves onto your hardwood floor, very clearly leaving scuff marks where it currently is. And then even rears up a little
Cori
bit.
Completely ignores that. She's just like, yes. So go find my parents. They're either going to be on the summer isle or the spring isle, depending on what business Mother's up to.
Just... And then it goes over to the door, and its figure stands so imposingly in front of it, it's very hard to actually see what Oakenheel is doing to the front of the door. But you just see its head kind of lean down a little bit and shimmy. As then it kind of walks backwards as the door opens up, and it tilts its head sideways so its horns exit out of the door frame, and then just steadily kind of like shoulder, and fits itself out of the door before it turns around, gives you a small bow, hooks the door handle with its antler, and closes the door behind it.
I love my horse son.
And Blake's about to like walk out the door to like go start picking up alchemy stuff, and then he's gonna be like, turns back to Cori. I never gave you your cut of the bounty from the Minotaur. Here's 40 gold.
40 gold. Oh,
40 gold pieces.
Thank you. Tuck that away. And
Thank you
pick
for
up a broom.
Thank you for getting Cyber back.
Oh, I would have done that regardless.
Thank you for getting Cyber back in a way that did not get us kicked off the island faster.
Well, you know, I try.
And then I want to run some errands.
Okay. So yeah, you are out running some errands. And then Cori, what are you doing in the meantime? Are you just kind of cleaning up the general space, getting ready for new equipment?
Essentially, yeah. She's gonna clean until noon hits, and she'll probably like overshoot it a little bit because she's not super great at telling time. And then like as soon as she realizes it's noon, she's gonna run out there and buy some flowers.
Okay. Mark yourself off 4 silver pieces from 4 silver after having purchased some flowers. And then you begin making your way to the Moonrunner. And that's actually when you pass, when you see Gwen and Caelum, who are out doing their shopping as well. And this is post you guys having gone to things that make you say, wow.
What kind of flowers do you think Olivia would like?
Cori's best judgment. She never asked.
Genuine question. Well, shoot. Lilies. I'll grab like a mix of like black, purpley roses and really pretty white lilies.
Okay.
Spider lilies.
Spider
That's
lily.
right.
Not tiger lily. Spider lily. So yeah, you managed to take all the flowers that you needed with you, and you make your way onto the deck of the Moonrunner, which is positioned maybe about a quarter mile on the inside of this large bay away from where your shop currently is. So it's really not too far away. It seems like Arasthk held up his promise that he would put you in a good spot near-ish the harbor. But you end up making your way there, and you see that the 4 kobolds have done a wonderful job repainting the back end of the ship to no longer say the Midnight Dancer, but to now say the Moonrunner. And you see that there is now a little bit of a railing around the words that had burned themselves into the deck of the ship, just as more of a space for reverence. And as you are looking around, you ask where Oliviette is, and they let you know that she's currently in her cabin. And so they say that they can either let you know that she's there, or if you would like to go in yourself, you know that Oliviette has said that you are always welcome.
Yep, she'll just go there herself, and she'll knock on the door and just hold the flowers in front of her face.
Okay. And the door opens and just says, hello, who is it?
She'll lower the flowers a little bit and just give her like a really pitiful look and just be like, I'm so sorry.
And Oliviette gets this look of... It's like worry has washed over her at this point, and she is just looking in this relieved state and just says, you're late, but adventuring life, right?
She nods, and she's just like, it's been a really long couple of days.
Come inside. Tell me about it. And she lets you into the cabin.
She'll go in and it all comes out at once. Just like she tells her about the hag dying on the island and getting stuck there and then going into winter form, and then Arjan died and now he's Blake, and then he was a Blake died and now he's Arjan and now he's a dragon, and like I can't keep my dragon names straight. And so she it all comes out at once, and then she's just like she punctuates it like full on welling up, and she's just like, it's been a really long couple of days.
And then at that, Oliviette just brings you in for a hug and just pats the back of your head. Just it's okay. You came out on top. A recommendation: don't go into the water. Sharks are bad. From what I saw in the Feywild dreams, you did not show me any sharks there, so maybe it's a material plane thing. Mouthful of daggers. They are not good.
Yes, I figured that out.
You had me worried.
I'm sorry.
You don't have to apologize. It wasn't your fault. From the way it sounds, it was, the fault of a now deceased hag. So, who am I going to blame then, eh? Nobody. So there's no blame. It's okay.
She'll just move her hair out of her face.
What is comfort food for you? I was originally going to plan on cooking something for you, but you sound like you've had a rough stint. Maybe we just go out, grab something to eat, come back, or eat out.
I usually like spicy food.
We can get you some spicy food. Come on. And she puts her arm around your shoulder. And then as you two walk out onto the deck of the ship, she just waves at the kobolds and says that the two of you will be back sometime later on in the evening. And she ends up finding it's basically a curry house. In that there are a lot of rice dishes, and it's primarily red and yellow curries, although there are a variety of green curries as well. And then, of course, they have vegetarian and meat eaters options. It's just a vegetarian curry is just curry, but you just left the meat part out. It's still very filling as a dish.
That's right. And while they're hanging out, she'll discuss the possibilities of a job with the running freight for Dragon's Drafts. Is that what we decided to call it? All right, yeah.
Make a perception check. Or persuasion. Sorry, not perception. Persuasion. The other P one. That's significantly less spooky.
I still have exhaustion, just to let everybody know. Oh, it's a 1 and a 3.
And she, as you're saying this, she just kind of takes in your proposal and extends her, kind of wipes some of the curry off of her mouth and sets her utensils down and says, as much as I know it would mean a lot, I'm still trying to run a business. And do you have any customers? Do you have anybody who is willing to purchase your potions yet? Or are you just, I'll buy at least one. I'll support you and your friends. But in terms of actually making a profit, of paying, do you know how much my services are?
No, but I just wanted to put a bug in your ear. Technically, we don't even have a business yet. So, honestly, I understand if you want to wait and see how things shake out.
I will talk to.
Also, there is this small problem of the fact that 3 out of the 4 of us are exiled from the island.
That does put a damper, but I've done business negotiations for people before. That's how we got here. Tobias needed me to do his negotiations for him. I don't think it would be that bad. I can talk to other sailors. Have you tried talking to the Cell Sails? The mercenary group that exists here on the island. It's led by a darker-haired human woman who has a tattoo of a dagger on her arm. She goes by the name of Tifa. She would probably. I heard she just came back from being out at sea several days ago. She seemed kind of banged up. Maybe she would be willing to purchase a potion or two. Possibly talk with her about maybe supplying them, if possible. As much as I would love for you to supply me, I don't know if you even have the startup to. If I was to purchase, say, 8 potions, one for myself and then for one of each of my men, would this Arjan? Would Arjan have? Would he even have that ready for me?
Not for another week yet. I'll have to talk to him to find out how quickly he can put something like that together.
I appreciate you, Cori, and I do trust you, but business is still business.
Right. That's fair. We'll just have to wait and see and show that we can prove ourselves.
I think we will. I mean, I saw how you fought on the moon. Saw how your friends fought when we were on the boat. It shouldn't take too much. It's just the numbers are not there right now. I was raised believing in a stock system. And right now you are at the very baseline. There is no public shares being exchanged.
That's completely fair. I like your realism. I can be a tad optimistic at times.
Are you looking for investors, though? Are you looking for other people to possibly help start your business?
That probably wouldn't be a bad idea.
That I can help with. I can help support. I can help back at least some, not all. I don't want to be a business owner other than my own business of running my ship. But I could see about making a donation. And then in the future, after this donation, maybe you help me out with possibly discounted potions? Not heavily, of course. I still understand you also need to run your business, but maybe we could work something out that way. That way I am not forever going to be running from here to Marisville for you, just making that same trip every day. It's not why I went out on the sea.
Okay. Actually, that sounds wonderful. Now, let's not let the rest of this evening be business. I just want to enjoy my time with you.
And at that, you see her get she kind of tilts her head down a little bit, and you see a smile appear on her face, and she says, I look forward to spending my time with you as well. And then at that, she picks up her silverware and just kind of continues eating curry with you.
Yeah.
And then your date goes by very well. She seems to just be really enjoying the company. And as you guys continue to talk, you realize that it's getting now to be the early evening. Did you have any plans for the rest of the day besides hanging out with Oliviette?
No. I think she'll stay over with Oliviette tonight.
Okay. Sounds good. Arjan, Blake, and Arjan, Caelum, and Gwen. The three of you guys end up doing all of your shopping and then finally reconvening back at your shop, or are you reconvening at the Grey Boar Tavern?
There are no beds.
Arjan would need to spend essentially the rest of the day at the shop.
Okay.
So we would reconvene at the shop, chat, and then, I don't know, Gwen and Caelum would go back to Grey Boar.
So by the time y'all come back to the shop, you see Arjan vomiting acid into the alchemy equipment that he got back in Shroudport. They picks back up and goes back over to stir what is in a fresh cauldron in a smock that says, "Please don't kiss the alchemist." And he has some like alchemy goggles on.
It's like, hey, Arjan, ah!
Hey, welcome back.
Are you okay?
Yeah.
Nice smock.
Yeah.
And the "please don't" is definitely like scribbled in.
So Gwen and I are going to be working off this tab that we like acquired for the cure.
Did you get?
Yeah, I drank a potion and it should make me older by tomorrow.
Oh God, how expensive was it?
4 days work.
Yeah.
For 4 days of both of you working.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
What kind of work?
Not just lifting shit, killing shit, getting items. I thought it'd be really good because then we could pick up stuff for you too while we're out on different planes of existence.
Oh. Okay. Well, I mean, Cori's already sent some like notes off to the Feywild.
Networking. That's what we're gonna be doing.
Cool. If you know any alchemists who want to, you know, stay on a tropical island and run a shop that's already paid for, that's cool.
All right. Sweet. Are you just gonna be mixing up your vomit for a while?
Well, I mean, the vomit is for acid vials, but I'm also making healing potions.
Cool.
Yeah, it's gonna take me the better part of this week. So.
Sweet.
All right. So we'll.
Who are you doing work for?
The
I
dude
don't remember his name. The dude in a tent.
Yeah, we went to things that make you say wow,
Oh,
and they
God.
had the thing. So we'll pop
We
by
said
after
wow.
our shift with all of the extra stuff that we collect.
Mm-hmm.
And they had a magical aging potion.
Apparently.
Wow.
Yeah. Age him up 10 years.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Because he doesn't actually know how old he was.
Oh God.
Mm-hmm. Are we gonna stay at the Grey Boars? I feel
Yeah.
like you should rebrand that. Grey Boars. His name is Grey Beard. I mean, you should just change it back.
Wah. Yeah, I'll meet back up with you whenever I'm done here.
Sweet. Caelum?
Right.
Drinks? Wait. Yeah.
I could, but
You know what? Well, I wanted to go to that House of Lady Favors, but
oh yeah, I still have a reservation for you there, so you could probably go. I can make my way back.
no,
I need to sleep this off anyway.
yeah, I'm just gonna walk you back just to make sure you're okay, and then I'll.
I am fine, Gwen.
You're 14.
Yeah, physically
Emotionally?
a wreck, but you know that hasn't stopped me before.
Yeah. Let me just walk you home, buddy. I just want to make sure you're safe, okay?
I. Bye, Arjan.
Have fun, buddy. And as she walks out the door, she's gonna like pop her head back in and like kind of close it so that Caelum can't hear. We need to throw him a birthday party, by the way, because he has never celebrated his birthday.
It's 50 gold. Buying something nice.
Thank you. She puts it in her pocket.
But we had 420 gold in the party funds, and I wanted to point that out in chat.
And then as they're walking out, Gwen is just gonna say, "Did you see how I deflected that? Did you see how he was really angry?" And then I was like, "But we're doing something for you too."
I'm pretty good at deflecting.
Yeah, but when you deflect, people get angry.
I wasn't angry.
You look over and like there's a window that's still open as fumes are coming out of it.
I was concerned.
Gwen shoves Caelum.
Ah.
All right, so you guys make your way to the Grey Boar Tavern, and Gwen, you are just letting Caelum loose in the tavern, and then you're heading off to the Temple of Soon.
She will probably go up and deposit some of her stuff that she doesn't need.
Okay, make a perception check as you do.
Cool. +3 is an 8.
Nothing seems missing or out of the ordinary.
Things are fine.
Yeah, everything's fine. And then you get done dropping your stuff off, and Caelum, you end up getting called over by your friends off constantly as they are enjoying the last night that they have in port before they end up heading out for the next day. And when you walk over, Farron just, what in the shit? And Elisharis is also very confused, and Mugwort just, what are you always this short? And Prescott just looks at you and just gets a smirk on his face and goes back to reading.
No. It's getting fixed by the morning.
It doesn't matter.
It kind of does. I can't drink with you guys.
Why?
I think I'm underage.
What do you mean?
Wait, isn't there like a...
Why would you put an age on drink? That doesn't make any sense.
Forget I said anything.
And at that, he calls out to Greybeard, and Greybeard ends up bringing another round for the table. And Farron says, I mean, we're going to be heading out tomorrow, so I was just wondering if you would be there to see us off.
Yeah, definitely. Oh, what time?
Well, we're going to be leaving closer to daybreak, so if you get there around 7 or 8, you should be able to see us.
Okay, yeah, I can do that.
Excellent. I'm still just really curious. So how did this happen again? And like,
Caelum is like in the stool, sitting like crisscross applesauce because he can do that now with like the beer all the way up to his mouth, and he's like, "So, I tried to cast a spell, and
and are you telling them about like, oh, I have this school of magic and I can access?
No,
okay,
he's not gonna.
Got it.
He's just gonna say he tried to cast a spell and something backfired on him.
Got it. And at that, you actually do get a few chuckles out of Prescott, who, that's all that he really seems to be doing is laughing at your misfortune, but at least he's not storming off this time. And as the night kind of comes to a wind, as the lot of you are all just kind of sitting there enjoying each other's company, they end up each kind of making their way away and just wish you a good night and that they'll see you in the morning. So you are you meditating or are you sleeping this evening?
He will meditate to see if that quickens the process.
Okay. And then Cori. So you are spending the night with Oliviette. Are you meditating with her at all? Or in showing her anything, or is this more of a I am really exhausted and would just like to cuddle?
I think this is a cuddling situation. She's too tired. She can't. She's too tired.
So as the two of you are cuddling, Oliviette will just kind of be brushing the hair out of your face, and you hear that she's just kind of humming to herself as you fall into this meditative trance. And one of the last things that you really remember before your trance takes you is the feeling of her lips kind of pressing against your cheek. She gives you a slight peck before you head off to bed.
It's fucking adorable.
And Gwen, you are going to the Temple of Lady Favors, as you have called it.
That was a grog thing, yes.
All right. So you go to the Temple of Soon, and when you arrive, Mistress Rajnar is standing outside, and she is this very nice-looking humanoid. This nice-looking humanoid figure who's wearing these very deep red clothes that look very breathable. Almost like she's not wearing much underneath, but at the same time, she's not ashamed by her body as she's kind of standing, talking to people. And as you make your way, she says, "Oh, hello, and who might you be?"
I believe I have a reservation. Gwen?
Oh, you were the one I was supposed to pay it forward to.
Oh.
Well.
Sweet.
Your friend made quite a donation, and she opens up the door, and you can see that there is lined up on. There is a kind of grander looking stairwell that leads up to a series of rooms up above, and you see that there is a line of male companions to choose from, a line of female companions to choose from. And then she says, if none of these are exactly your speed, maybe we can find something else that'll fit a little bit better. That she kind of gives you a wink, and the woman behind the counter just says, we've got binders full of them.
Oh, dang. I wasn't really prepared to have such a selection.
Well, this is just for a companion for the evening, whether it's for a back rub, somebody to wash your hair, somebody to listen to your problems. If you'd like to...
I was looking for someone to have sex with.
Oh, and all of the figures kind of standing in line just shrug their shoulders like, it's not that bad. And the woman at the desk says, well... that's going to be a little bit more of a donation, if that's acceptable. Only another 2 gold extra.
Sure.
All right, well, have your pick, the litter, as it were. And they kind of motion in allowing you to inspect. And she says, for an extra gold more, you can unlock the double partner mileage pack.
Oh, yeah. Let's do that. And you know what? Has anyone not been with a halfling before?
Like, there's one half-orc who kind of gingerly raises his hand.
Male or female?
His hand.
Okay. All right, I'll do that one, and let's do a medium size, maybe a little bit shorter, female.
You see that there is a dwarven woman who has a beard, a dwarven woman who does not have a beard, as well as several humans and half-elves.
All right, let's go with the beard. Sorry, they didn't say your names.
She just shrugs and then begins walking forward. And then as they both take your hands and begin leading you up the stairs, as you say, I'm sorry, they didn't tell me their names, the woman at the front desk just says, it doesn't matter what their names are. Not tonight anyways.
Sweet. I'm gonna call you Scratchy. To the half-orc.
And then that is where we'll fade to black on Gwen's exciting evening. So, Cori, you wake up very early in the morning, still with Captain Oliviette, and it seems like she has kind of allowed you to fall asleep, to fall into a meditative trance in her arms, and she seems to have just accepted that, almost like when a cat rests on your lap and it's like, I am just here now. I cannot move this. That is the equivalent to her, where she just kind of has her head pressed against yours for the early morning. And it is, you feel well rested. And as you stir, she begins stirring as well. And she goes to make you breakfast and kind of just have a very nice, enjoyable morning. Do you have any plans for the morning other than just kind of spending it talking with Oliviette?
Not necessarily. I think she's going to finish up breakfast and then go and check on Blake, Arjan, because she hasn't told him about the stuff that she discussed with Olivia the previous night. So she's going to go and get him up to speed.
Okay. And so it is around this time as well, Caelum, that you have gone through your full night's meditation. You find yourself being at your proper age once more. You feel like your body has regained its composure, as if the person selling you goodies at things that make you say, wow, actually maybe knew what he was talking about. But you begin to feel better, and you manage to gather up all your things, and you head out towards where you know that Off Constantly is going to be sailing away from. And as you reach the docks, you can see that Elisharis, Prescott, and Mugwort are already on the ship getting ready. And Farron was actually standing down below waiting for you to show up, if possible. And he, when you arrive, he has a look of just genuine happiness on his face, and he reaches out and he touches your arm and he says, thank you for coming by and wishing an old man farewell.
You make it sound like I'm not going to see you again.
Well, no, I mean, like, we're still planning on fighting each other, right?
I know, but those are kind of like a red flag.
A what?
What? Caleb just wraps his arms around like Farron's midriff and hugs him.
And Farron's kind of taken aback a little bit and then leans down to give you a hug and kind of tussles your hair a little bit. And says, look, the next time we meet, it'll probably be as enemies on the battlefield, so I wanted to say thank you. Thank you for making me proud, and thank you for making it so easy to be proud of you.
I mean, I just wanted to meet your expectations.
You've done more than meet them. And he grabs you by the top of the head and just kind of like butts his forehead against yours. And he said, not heavily, but just like in a gentle, like brothership kind of way, and says, you did more than meet my expectations. You excelled past them. And I know you're going to do great things. And he gives you a hug again as a bell is rung on the ship that he was on. And he looks up and says, well, that's it for me, but I'll see you in certs, eh?
Well, I'll see you in certs.
And then he makes his way up onto the ship. And it's still early enough that you have time to kind of watch this ship set out.
I'm gonna shout up to Elisharis. You take care of these dummies for me, okay?
She just gives you a really big smile and says, of course! Mugwort's dummy thick, but I'm pretty sure he'll be alright.
You can hear me sneaking through the catacombs because my ass keeps on clapping.
And Mugwort just, what's dummy thick supposed to mean? She's like, I'll tell you when you're older. It's okay. And you just, no, I am older than you. There is no time for the waiting. as you watch as this ship begins setting itself out. And as you watch it go, you see that it goes through the large lock system that it has until eventually it's down out onto the open ocean. And you can see down that Prescott is in the middle of what looks to be a summoning spell, possibly trying to bring about either a companion of some sort in the form of a familiar. Mugwort is currently helping out the crew members of the Keshan trade ship to get everything ready in any way that they can. And Farron and Elisharis are just kind of waving at you. And as they do, you see Elisharis actually like put her head against Farron's shoulder. And he reaches down, and you can see that their hands are holding each other as they continue to wave goodbye.
Wait a minute.
And Caelum, that is when you hear something. And it is a voice of a woman who just said that she would make sure to watch over your friends. And it says, "Don't stray too far from them, Sabrak. I've enjoyed getting to know the history of songs, and I'm sure that they will sing more before long."
No, you...
And that is where we will end it for tonight's session. So, I would like to say thank you to everybody who decided to stop by and watch the look of horror on RJ's face, as maybe, we can bring some stuff up in Nights in the Courtyard and find out more about all of this important information that may have just gotten brought up after we made a dummy thick reference. So, I would like to say, first and foremost, thank you to all of these players. Thank you to everybody who has decided to stop by and enjoy this series. I know last week I said that I was going to try and get out the recaps as quickly as I possibly could, and they are still on the way. My weekend got way busier than I thought that it would. So, next week, that is my guarantee that at least one or two of the things will be done during that time. So, RJ, where can we find you? What do you do?
First of all, how dare? Second of all, hey everybody, I am RJ here on the channel, but you can catch me at RJustice282 on Twitter and Twitch, where I tweet about the nerdy things, and I keep saying I stream, but I don't really.
You stream here? And on Pro Restarter?
I stream sometimes. You can catch me on the Tuesday game coming up, Curse of Strahd, as the Human Ranger Speedy, and on Pro Restarter's channel on Sundays at 8 p.m. EST as G3, our Robo Hunter boy.
Excellent. And LB, where can we find you? What do you do?
I knew it. I knew that woman was trouble.
You did. You called it.
Her. It's the blonde hair. Hi, I'm LB. You can see me here Monday, Tuesday, and this week on Wednesday. Tomorrow we're going to be playing Curse of Strahd, where I'll be playing the lovely little sister to Siphon, and Wings will be running it. And on Wednesday, I will be running a one-shot. Instead of, we have the 4 keeps on Monday, we had the 4 kids one shot. Now we have the 4 pups. Well, I can't say that because there's not any puppies.
I'm a cat.
The 4 animals, which there will be 5 of. So anyways, and then you will find me on Sunday on Encounter Roleplay at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We are having our final episode of Young Heroes of Fate. And then after that, we will be playing on Pro Research channel at 8 p.m. And I will be playing a character that I can't think about right now because I'm tired. Oh, she's really creepy.
Excellent.
That's...
Cyberwolf, where can we find you? What do you do?
You can find me on. I'm not looking at the stream right now, so I hope I'm pointing at the right place. You can find me on Twitter at Cyberwolf1, where I tweet about stuff. I just dropped a whole bunch of links in chat if you're watching live. You can find me there. I tweet stuff sometimes. Sometimes I tweet whenever I'm going live on my own channel or possibly someone else's channel. I don't know. But you can find me at twitch.tv/Cyberwolf1, where I play video games badly, but I talk about lore. We should be We might be finishing up Breath of the Wild next week, depending on how good I'm at the Master Trials DLC. I don't know, but we only got like 4 shrines left, and then we fight Ganon. So, yeah, Breath of the Wild finale is coming soon. But it's also like the 1-year anniversary of me going affiliate. So, I don't know. We might be doing something special on the stream. You might have a gaff at if you pull up the stream where you can laugh at me. All the archives of that go to my YouTube, which I do not have linked because I have a horrible URL. If you subscribe to that YouTube channel, you get all those wonderful archives, as well as the podcast that Kyle with an N and I do called Let's Talk About It, where we get drunk and we talk about stuff. Usually TTRPG related, like we spend like an hour talking about ROCs. But all of those episodes now are up on anchor.fm. They are on Apple Podcasts. They are on Google Podcasts. They are not on Spotify because they don't like that we use music in some of those. Maybe some of the season 2 stuff will get up there because, I mess with it, but maybe not. I don't know. Maybe I'll upload them separately. I don't know, but it's up there. All of Let's Talk About It is up there now, so you can watch it in whatever format you so choose. That's all I got because I'm not doing any other role-playing stuff right now.
That's fair. All right, and Danae, where can we find you? What do you do?
I'm Danae, also known as Wings, and I was very suspicious towards the end. I was all like, this description is going on a little long. He's gonna drop another shoe in a second. He's gonna drop a shoe. Sure enough, he dropped the shoe. But I'm Danae Keener. You can find me at DanaeKeener.com. I do nerdy drawings. And you can also find me in the Art Showcase channel of the Discord, where I just dropped a doodle from tonight. It's Caelum, and he is a baby. So you can find it there. That's all I got. Oh, no, I'm going to be running Curse of Strahd tomorrow. If you hadn't heard, but tune in for Curse of Strahd tomorrow and see what happens, because currently everybody's standing outside of a burning building and someone's dead. So come and see what happens.
And if you would like to find out about what happened previously on our Curse of Strahd game, you can either check it out on youtube.com/indooradventures, indooradventures.podbean.com, anchor.fm/indooradventures, or twitch.tv/indooradventures. We are now consistent in our branding, which makes doing things like this our giveaway easier, because that way, if you just tell people, hey, Indoor Adventures are giving away some really cool stuff, maybe people will stop by. So that's just something to consider. Also, we do have a Patreon set up, so if you are interested in possibly supporting us via that Patreon, you can totally do that there. And I also have another command which links to everyone in this game's Twitter account. So that way, if you would like to follow LB, Wings, RJ, or Cyber, who already posted his Twitter link, then you can totally do that there. But as we stated earlier and have possibly made mention of, we have an after show called Nights in the Courtyard that we do after this show. So we are going to be moving into that. But before we go, I would like to say, because I was a dummy and forgot it earlier, today is April 22nd. You are loved, and we will see you guys next time. All right, everybody. Bye-bye.